Parent carer reads the document and thinks, I'm not convinced my school is meeting the standards in the inclusion toolkit. Is there anything that parents and carers can do? What would you recommend?
Well, I think if we go back to the principles of this, and it's very easy, for example, to use the word co-production about really working together, but the reality of that, we know, is quite hard to achieve. And I think that it absolutely is a two-way process. So if I was a parent, and I have been in that position where I've been worried about the provision in place for my son at the time, the first stage is often, you just do, and I mean, we all know this, you talk to the SENCO. And sometimes it's not just about the SENCO. I would always talk to, if it was in secondary school in particular, whoever's responsible for teaching and learning in the school. I'd say, please, could I have a meeting with the SENCO and the lead for teaching and learning, because, these are my concerns. In a primary school, it would be the same. So it would be talking about, what it is that you are really concerned about. And I think what's so important, and I've worked with so many parents, Jo, over the years, who will say to me things like, actually, the school is really friendly and they always welcome me in. But actually, sometimes things don't change. So with those meetings, it's so important, isn't it, to actually agree an action from that meeting with a time scale. So, if you are really concerned, it's having that discussion, having an agreement of what you're going to try, what you as a parent are going to do, what the school's going to do, if age appropriate, what the child or young person is going to do, and then a date to review it. Is it actually happening? Is it working? Section 2, which I suppose is really about the teaching and learning part. 2.1, so I've just got to read this a second because I can't remember all 13 sections, but it starts off with the importance of what all children should access as high quality teaching. And then it goes into 2.2 is about, well, this is really in practice what assess, plan, do, review looks like. And then it goes into each section takes one of the areas of need. So there's cognition and learning, communication and interaction, social, emotional and mental health, and sensory and or physical. And those sections are quite large. And so that goes through the universal targeted, what should happen at every stage, and gives teachers and leaders guidance on what good practice would actually look like. So they're quite meaty, I suppose, sections of the toolkit, but that also helps. So when, for example, I was working with an advisor, when we quality assured to check that we, that it was as good as it could be, and I'm absolutely not saying it's perfect, it's not. But when I worked with advisors, it was lovely because one member of the advisory team said, "Oh, Kim, fantastic. I will use this in schools, so I can take that into schools and say, okay, shall we have a go at this? Have you thought of that? What about this?" And so it's practical, and it will evolve, it will grow, it will change as we have new research that comes out, when we find, other things that might work. And it's really envisaged that the SEND clusters, with the lead SENCOs leading their team of SENCOs from their cluster schools, will actually have a go at some of these things and try them out. And it's having that spirit, I suppose, of trust and openness, and it might not work, but let's have a go. We haven't done this before, because that saying, if we keep on doing the same things, we'll get the same results. And we've just got to take a few risks and have a go.
Because you never know, you might just hit upon a unique, creative way of meeting needs for, groups of children or individuals that you hadn't really thought of before.